lead us in the pledge of allegiance, please?
Okay. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start with public input. Any comments? Go ahead, Mary. Molly.
Yeah, I'm just here requesting an extension or for you guys to make a motion to extend our cease order. That our deadline is for November 1st.
And what happened at the planning board meeting this past Monday is the folks from Moose Mountain submitted a site plan application for the planning board to work through. And I think that's a significant step. So we had a cease and desist effective November 1st. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, they're showing compliance with what we've asked. This involves in our court, I think, at this point to some extent. It'll probably be a little back and forth going forward, but I see a good faith effort on your part, and I think we should offer an extension on the cease order.
Okay.
Okay, like January 1st, 2015, and then we can revisit it.
Would you say January 1st?
Yes.
June 1st? Could take a while. It's a big project.
Okay. All right. So all right.
I go June 1st?
When?
June 1st?
Okay. That's about 9 months.
Okay.
I mean, it just gives them plenty of time to work it through.
All right. So June 1st, motion. June 5th, and then June 5th, 2025.
I'll second the motion.
And the motion is an extension.
An extension.
Whatever the right legal terms are, to freeze the, to not issue the cease and desist report.
Yep.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
All right. Yes, Steve?
This is an extension of the cease and
Well, yes.
desist?
Well, that was the motion, yes.
Okay, is there any way we can get a retraction?
Well, you don't need a retraction, just get the thing done. You got 6 months.
It's like 6 months. It's probably like.
It makes it hard for us to continue doing business when we know this is overriding. And if that's still in place, we're gonna be reluctant, and other people are gonna be reluctant to rent the lodge in the meantime. So do we start scheduling for spring and find out that
We said, what we say, July? July?
No.
June. June, that's 6 months. You know, you can get it done in 6 months?
Well, that's kind of completely up to you. It's already taken a year.
It's up to the planning board now. We're done. What we have to do is, we say that we're gonna hold on the cease and desist. And that was our job, to freeze that.
Okay. So it's frozen, but it still exists?
You can always we can always reinstate it.
Okay, so you can also retract it for now, so we have a clean slate going forward. And if you see fit in June to issue another one, then we can deal with it then. But right now, it's a cease and desist that's ongoing.
That's correct.
So that makes it hard for us to plan for the spring and the summer.
Okay.
So can we get a retraction of that order?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay.
Any other comments? Yes, Ed?
What I would do is I would issue a new letter with the new date on it.
That's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
Any other input? Okay. Meeting minutes from the 15th of October.
I've read through the minutes. I have no issues with what's been presented, so I'll make a motion to accept the October 15th Board of Selectmen meeting minutes as presented.
The second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Okay, we're going to do boards and committees. Leah, how about you going first, all right? You always forget. We'll start on the left.
You have the newsletter in front of you. It's just about ready to go out. Not sure if it's gonna go in the mail or not, but it will at least be posted online, so hopefully everybody will get it this time.
Okay, and we'll take a look at it at the end of the meeting.
Yeah, that's fine, since I threw it at you late. The backing up of all the desktops will be conducted next Friday. So John and his wife will come in and get everything set up. They're also gonna switch us to .gov emails at the same time. So everybody that has a town email will now be on .gov as of next weekend, not this coming weekend, but November 7th, 8th. We will still receive all the .org emails for several months after the switch, so hopefully nobody will miss anything. They're gonna add a short signature message to the bottom of each of our emails that'll go out automatically whenever we send an email from the town accounts saying that we've switched to .gov, so that hopefully as we send things to people, they'll notice that and properly switch them. The Primex Cybersecurity Conference is next Thursday, so the admin office will be closed Wednesday since that is in Vermont. Thank you guys for letting me go to that. The Joint Loss Management Committee will next meet November 17th at 6 here. All town employees are encouraged to attend. And the Stop the Bleed event, if anybody would like to join, it's free for anybody in town. It's kind of a first aid type class. It's November 9th at 9 a.m. Just contact me or Karen to sign up for that. That's all I've got.
Okay, and we're going to .gov because it's a legitimate site. .org, anybody can be a .org. To be a .gov, you have to be vetted and confirm that we're a legitimate government organization.
Yes.
That's why we're making the transition. Okay. Mary Lou, you're next.
Okay.
If you have something to say for Heritage Commission.
Yes, of course I do. I'm here. So Heritage Commission will be meeting the 16th at 6 o'clock here. And on the 9th of November, we'll be hosting bringing back the Veterans Potluck Supper. So we're asking if you're a veteran or know a veteran. I've sent out 50 invitations to veterans and wrote a note on each one. God love me. And so we're asking just for people to bring their favorite dish to share. And I'm sure we will honor our veterans that evening.
Okay. Thank you. Karen, anything?
I think I'll defer to Jan to talk about the elections, but
The
next
election.
Tuesday's the big day from 8 to 7 over in the townhouse. And so far we have about 40 absentee ballots.
Anything else, Jan?
I sent out the plan to all of the volunteers, and I think we are all set. So we'll open for volunteers at 7 a.m., the townhouse, so that the ballot clerks can do their preparation, and we can brief everyone and sign anyone, or get anyone who needs the appropriate paperwork done. So I think we're set. Tomorrow I'm printing the worksheets for ballot counting, and we're good to go.
So, you
Yep,
want
well,
to do,
that's exactly right.
it's going to be third, right?
Well, the vote, the election is,
Fifth.
we'll have to do it Sunday because the hall is rented on
Yeah, yeah.
Saturday, so 1 o'clock?
Okay.
1 o'clock to set up the booths, the
What
day.
day?
Sunday.
Sunday, yep, 1 o'clock Sunday. I'll be there.
And as
So,
long as we're talking about that, when are we taking them down? Because
There's a dinner.
right.
on Saturday.
Wednesday.
Okay, can you do Wednesday?
For tear down? Yep.
For like 5 o'clock?
Yep. Wednesday, 5 o'clock. 1 o'clock on Sunday and 5 o'clock.
If I could ask, could you text me when you're done with setup, or if you think you'll be done maybe around 2 o'clock? Jim and I need to come in run the ballot through, make sure we have everything ready to go. He usually works on Mondays, so.
Yes, we can do that. Won't take us long. We
I
just
figured.
move some tables around, right? Put up some things.
Yeah, and Karen and I figured out a slightly different way to set up the exit area, the checkout, so maybe I'll show up around 1 so we can,
Our biggest challenge is setting up the booths
Set
and
it up.
their setup.
exactly, okay, great.
So
Okay,
we
good.
should be good.
Okay. Do you have more?
Okay, thank you.
I have a couple things. Oh, so Saturday, November 16th, Heritage Commission is actually meeting with Heritage Commissions in the area in Wolfboro, Tufton Borough, I think, Ossipee, and others, that we can network, share with each other. One success and one challenge, but I think part of it is just talking through issues that may benefit everyone. So I think there's 5 of us coming.
Yes.
Yeah. I have a quick update on the Gaffney. The November newsletter is out. Leah, I just sent you this afternoon the link. There is a really interesting program that's being put on by the New Hampshire Humanities Society this Thursday, next Thursday evening. It's November 7th, and it's about traditional Russian doll making, the nesting dolls. But New Hampshire Humanities does great programs, so they're going to cover a lot of the history, the folk tradition, the symbolism. And so for anyone who's interested, that's Thursday, November 7th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. And then there's loads of other information. I'm going to leave you a copy. Tomorrow I'll print some, we'll put them out here, and I have posted one already. And so Leah, if you could put that up. And my other question, Leah, is once you make the transition to .gov, when do you think you'll put the button on the civic action so I can start feeding you some information for the Gaffney?
You can start feeding me stuff now. The whole, as far as redesigning the homepage and getting all the buttons on there and whatnot, it's going to take a little bit longer because Civic Plus is switching us to a new product
Okay.
at the beginning of the year.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I'll have to relearn everything, and
Okay, that's great.
I figure we'll just redesign everything then instead of doing it now and then redoing it then.
Terrific. Okay, great. I'll do that. And I will pass this over to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
And the last thing I wanted to also do was extend an invitation to Brian and Ed. If there's a date and time, if you would be interested in taking a quick tour, take about 15 minutes of the Gaffney. I know that's budget time and you're considering the budget request. But I also think if you haven't seen the extension of the new library and the community space, I think it'd be helpful to give you that perspective. So I'm flexible, I can work around your schedules. Friday mornings work, but anytime before you make your final decision, I extend that invitation to you. Thank you.
Is that it, Jim?
That's it.
You wrote nothing?
It's been nice and quiet.
It's
Good,
good.
nice weather.
I only have I received the invoice from the county that our payment remains the same at $160,940 payable before the end of the year.
Okay, and do you have any other bill?
I budget and bills, so you want to wait till the end?
Okay, we'll do that. Ed, do you have anything?
Yeah, I'll speak for the Conservation Commission. We've cleaned up 3 of the areas at the Hackett site, the solar hole. The graveyard is now all cleaned up, and last Sunday we cleaned up the area around the convenience store, which is right beside the solar hole, and it's looking pretty awesome. I encourage anybody to go down and take a look at it. The road is passable now, all the way down into the Hackett site. We do have the pasture gate up, but you can walk around that. And I think it's a very impressive effort so far. A lot more work to do, but we're getting the help we need. That's it for conservation.
Okay. Brian, you have anything?
Good.
Okay, so there was some confusion about what we do with our meeting minutes. And the various departments were doing the meeting minutes one way or different ways. So I asked Leah to write up a policy to see if we could embrace. In the first 3 quarters of it, the first 3/4 of it are right out of the RSA. So there's no options with that. The last quarter, the last third is what we do in town with our meeting minutes. And fingers don't work so good.
This one? Oh, okay.
Fingers don't work so good. Well, what the plan is, we've looked at this, I want to read some of the highlights of this, but the point is, we're going to give it to all the departments to follow. And Leah has found a recommendation or a consideration from the Municipal Association with respect to draft meeting minutes. And I'll read the first sentence. There is no requirement in the right to know law that any board act to approve its draft minutes, however, period. However, it is a near universal practice for all boards to review the minutes that were created within the 5 business day frame. But they're saying you don't have to meet to approve it. That's the important thing. If someone wants to see them, they can see them. But once you publish them, it's a document you have to maintain. So I think the way I read what the Municipal Association is recommending is don't publish them unless you, if someone wants to see them, you got to show them. But once you publish them, you got to manage them. And that becomes 2 sets of meeting minutes to manage. So we will review our town policy with respect to making copies, giving Craig a copy, filing a copy in the book, and then putting a copy on the webpage. That's effectively what it says. Craig, the book, the webpage. And that's what we embrace as our policy.
Yes, I'm going to make a note to ask a few people at the conference tomorrow how their towns handle it, and if they have written policies as well. It should be consistent with what we've got here.
The first 3/4 are 91A.
Right. I'm going to focus on just what you pointed out, the last third of this.
Okay.
So I'd like to
So you don't want to do anything else, then we're going to hold on it.
actually take a vote on it.
We'll wait till you're back. So where are you going?
Where?
You're tell everybody where you're going.
Oh, I'm going, NHMA has an annual meeting, and it's going to be tomorrow. It's actually a 2-day event. They tie in with the annual meeting a bunch of different conferences and sidebars or work sessions, if you will, on all kinds of different topics. I believe Chris may be going on some for the roads in the state. And it's a good chance to talk to all the towns, see what they do, network with some people, make some contacts. So questions down the road, we can lean on somebody and say, hey, what are you guys doing? So that's the plan. It starts at 7:30 in the morning, so I've got to get there early. It's about a 2-hour drive almost. It's in Manchester, but it'll be, hopefully be a worthwhile session. There's no cost to the town to do it because we're members of the association. If you sign up for different events, then some do have costs. But right now, I'm not signed up for any of them, so we'll see how they go.
And there's a vendor hall.
Yes.
There's a vendor hall, and I asked you to take a look at any land use organizations that might be available for us to hire to help us with our zoning and our planning board work. So there might be an opportunity to get some contacts there.
Yep.
We've been advertising for months to look for some help.
Yeah. So I've got those 2 bullets, land use, and for now I'll add the meeting notes to the list. Those are the things that I'll try to find.
Okay, good.
Hey, Rich. Sorry, I have one thing that I forgot to mention. on Heritage, the RFP for the painting and all
Yes.
that. Clock Tower, I have been contacted about 2 days ago by one of the vendors, just asking what is the timeline looking like. So I throw that up to you.
Next year.
They want to sign the contract.
A decision, and part of the reason I'm asking too is I know there was a warrant article for painting. I don't know if that money can be rolled over, but if it's like roads, remember it was, I think, if I understood correctly, award now and then we can roll the money over?
If it's a warrant article, it's okay.
It's okay.
No, I'm sorry. If it's a trust fund, it's okay, because if we don't spend it, we don't lose it.
Okay,
If it's a warrant article for operating,
okay.
we lose, we're not taking it out of a trust fund, we lose it, I believe.
Okay, so it was a warrant article in March.
Yes, to take it out of a trust fund, so the
Oh,
money.
it's taken out of the trust fund.
So the money is available
It's
next
still
year.
available. Okay, so the question is, for all the vendors, they said they can't do the work until next year, but do we, my concern is if we wait until next year, we may need to go back out and reconfirm the pricing.
So what's the best way to proceed with that? Should we meet with the Heritage and go through the contracts? Should we just look at it ourselves? What do you recommend?
What are your preference?
Whatever,
I mean, we've looked at it.
we've looked at it.
And we know, we have the summary, so it's,
And you didn't make a recommendation. You did not make a recommendation, is that
we
correct?
did not make a recommendation, but we can do that. We're meeting on
Yeah, the 16th,
the 13th,
13th,
or 16th.
one of those.
Yes, we can come back to you and give you that recommendation.
Or you can attend the meeting.
Yes.
Or attend the meeting?
And that way, if you had any questions, you could give them to us at that point, and if Jan needs to reach back out to them.
To attend the meeting with them?
Yeah, we can, I don't have a problem with that.
So are the estimates higher than the 10,000?
Yes, they are.
So where's the funding, the balance going to come?
That's what we have to discuss. Right,
It's the beauty of it.
yes, we have to discuss that. Okay, so we'll see you at the Wednesday, November 13th.
I'll send the agenda to them as
Thank
well.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Certainly.
When is your meeting? I know you said it, but I didn't catch it.
I think it's the 13th.
13th, Wednesday,
Wednesday
November
night.
13th, 6 p.m.
Well, I got 4 people yelling dates at me.
Sorry.
What is
13.
it? 13th?
Yeah.
Okay. 11, 13, 6 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We got a request from the code enforcement officer to spend some money for new software, Avatar software, that tracks building permits. It's integrated with assessing, so once he logs a building permit on a map and lot, it's recorded, quote unquote, forever, and the information is passed automatically over to assessing, so we don't have the issue of, did we do a pickup on it? Has it been reviewed, etc. So the cost of the software is $7,250. It's from Avatar. It integrates with all the Avatar systems. And his recommendation was that we consider bringing that in. Many towns use it. And it gives us a complete audit trail from this time forward of our building permits. 750, we could get the bill next year, but if we go forward with it, we'd start January 1st, logging building permits January 1st, and we'll get the bill next year, but they wouldn't install it this year.
Okay, yeah, I remember reading that. I remember reading that in the emails.
So we budgeted for 2000 to 25.
And we get the bill in 2025. But it's already November 1st. So by the time we get the invoice, it's gonna be, and they said they'd invoice us next year anyway, Avatar folks.
Yeah, well, that's a budgetary item, so.
I think it's a good idea that you get it integrated with the assessor and the taxes.
The code enforcement, when he generates data, it will automatically go to assess.
We use Avatar too for the tax collector. Is there a link that way as well?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I think to tie all three of them together is a good idea. It's gonna, you're gonna have the same information. Everybody's sharing the same information.
Well, we got a bunch of folders on the desk today, they go away.
Right.
You all right with it?
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'll make a motion that we authorize the town to engage Avatar for the, I got the contract right here. For the Avatar building permit system,
I'll second the motion.
State the amount, please.
$7,250.
And that's a one-time cost, right?
One-time cost, the annual maintenance is about $800 a year after that.
Okay.
The first year's covered in the contract. We okay? You're still okay?
So, okay.
I just wanted to ask, I just needed clarification. I thought we had our contract with Rodwood.
That's assessing.
That's assessing.
This is building permits.
Oh, I thought you said it was connected with assessing.
They are. Once the building permit process is worked, we pass information to assessing manually today. And it's not logged in any computer system. The way the system works is all the entry goes into the building permit system and then it's transferred automatically to assessing.
So if we had Avatar instead of Rodwood, would that have been offered? We just signed a contract with Rodwood, did we not?
For assessing, to
For
put
assessing.
the value on properties.
Okay, so so this system is only for
Building
building
permit.
permits, and how it connects with taxes and assessing.
When someone takes a building permit, it can change the value of your property. So that triggers the assessing department to go take a look at the value of the property after the building permit's been worked on.
So Rodwood would go out after you
Yes.
receive that and check it.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
that a pickup?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm following, okay.
Yes, that's a pickup. And if we drop if we drop the paperwork between building inspector and assessing, we miss the pickup.
And that pickup was $22.50?
$40.
$40, okay. For each one.
For each one.
Thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome. So I think there's a motion to move forward with this. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Let's do, we have no correspondence. We have no red folder. That was the only action item we had with respect to that. So let's do some bills and then we'll do some budget.
Want to do budgeting, well, everything we'll do bills after, or do you want
Are you here for budgeting?
to? Yes.
I am.
Might as well take the budget first.
So I'm requesting, on behalf of the Wakefield Food Pantry, that the town allow us $2,000 again, as you have in the past, for the budget. And I have a letter for Joanne.
Yeah, I put it in.
Good.
I figured you'd.
Here's a letter. Thank you. Certainly. Do you have any questions?
We're now sharing a lot of sensitive data. Brookfield participates.
Yes, Brookfield participates. I can tell you generally rough numbers, and if you want more specific, I can.
Keep it general.
Okay. So for this year, we have provided to Brookfield 4,665 meals as of last Wednesday. And
that would be what is that, a visit, or is that a family of four would count as four, or?
that is, if a family of four came,
Yes,
it would count as 4 people
okay,
getting food for 3 days,
for 3 days.
3 to 5 days, depending on
And
our stock.
say it again, 4,000?
Okay? 4,665. And of that, we've had a total visit of 378 people from the town of Brookfield. Our numbers on the whole are going up. We've served 7,500 more meals this year than last year. And it's at times just tough to keep food on those shelves. I've now just received an email today from USDA that there won't be any delivery in November. November's a big month for us, so that hurts as far as stock on the shelves. So we appreciate anything we can get from the different towns. We do get money from Wakefield, Milton, Newfield, and Brookfield, so would appreciate it.
Thank you for the good work.
Thank you.
The 300 number,
Mhm.
we have about 350 families in town, and you use a number like 340. So
378.
what is that
378.
number?
378 is how many people came on a specific day. Like how many adults, you want me to tell you how many adults? I can tell you adults, seniors, and children. 167 children, 27 seniors, and 117 adults.
Made
From
up to
Brookfield.
300.
Made up to 378.
One more time, read it, the breakdown again.
Sure,
Try that.
for you, the world. Wait, let's get to the page. 167 children, 27 seniors, that's where we've dropped a little this year in Brookfield, and 117 adults. So anyone up to the age of 60, seniors are considered 60 and over, for a total of 378. No, 311, last year was 378.
So every time a person comes in
Yep,
as an adult, that is one of them,
one, yes,
and you're open how many days a week?
1 day a week.
Wow.
Wednesday from, tomorrow morning from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then again from 5 to 7. And we have about 75 volunteers that work for the food pantry.
So that may be the same person or persons coming,
It
repeating.
could be coming week to week, yes. They could be. We hope they do. And then on November, I'm going to get this wrong, 23rd, we will be having the Thanksgiving dinner giveaway. We have a gentleman who graciously donates 50 turkeys a year to the food pantry for families in the community. And that distribution is on a Saturday morning from about 10 to noon, and we give out about 100 turkey dinners, and it's actually for anyone in the community, not necessarily a food pantry recipient.
I think we were told once that you would rather have cash as opposed to food delivered. In other words, you can get a better deal if you had cash to work with than having a turkey drop into your box. Is that true? Is that still what you'd like to have? If
Well,
people want to contribute?
If people want to contribute, we always welcome it. This time of year, this week, we got an extraordinary amount of food donated, which is wonderful. Most of the churches in Wakefield donate, and on a monthly basis, so that's good. And people do, around Thanksgiving, people do donate turkeys, and we're always thankful for that. Because right now, I know of 90 turkeys that we'll have available, but if we're feeding over 100 to 120, we need more.
And you'd rather have a turkey than cash?
Yes,
You can do more with, okay.
either way.
Okay.
Okay.
And checks could be Wakefield Food Pantry?
Yep,
Okay.
thank you, gentlemen.
That's why you're getting the press, that's why I asked.
Can I also add that the Wakefield, or the Gaffney does
Oh,
a all
they're-
November
okay.
long, they collect food for the food pantry, and I think they donate quite a bit, because
They
their
do.
lobby gets filled up with a lot.
Yep.
But they're looking for,
Peter called me last week.
yes, non-perishable items, canned goods,
Yep.
soups, cereal, box mixes, dried foods, and then canned pumpkin, holiday-related food prep.
We serve at least 60 or more families a week. So you can't believe how much cereal we go through. I keep saying cereal, cereal, cereal. But if you have 60 families coming, we go through 60 boxes of cereal a week or more. So it's absolutely amazing the amount of food we go through. But thank you. Appreciate your continued support.
Thank you.
Okay. So, we're gonna do, let's read the bills so people know what we're spending the money on.
Payroll, we have a total of $4,347.86 for the month of October.
Say that for Ed, please.
Payroll, $4,347.86 for the month of October. Maybe we can hold that as one. So you need. Okay, let's see. So I have a request from the cemetery committee for Bartlett tree experts. And this is for installing the following plants on the property: 4 red maples. And I guess that is, they're guaranteed for 2 years. It's $5,840, authorized by the cemetery committee. CAI Technologies, quarterly invoice. I have 2 because one didn't get passed on to me. One was from July, $262.50, and then the one for September, $262.50. Civic Plus, $2,542.84. Craig Evans, for mileage to drive to Andover, Mass. to pick up the record book, the town record book, $104.52. Eversource, we have $26.21 and $144.54.
I got the FPGA.
That's, EFPTS is the payroll taxes.
Oh, for this one?
Yeah, so it's $1,298.46, yeah.
I'll just go with
It's
that.
done all that electronically, that's why I missed it. Okay, so you got Eversource?
Yep.
Okay. $26.21 and $144.54. Gov Connection, $236.74. Jan Ledbetter, who purchased some paper for election, $65.99. To pay Karen for her NHCTCA conference, this was for her overnight accommodations, $345.04. Kimville Construction, this one is going to come out of conservation, I believe, $500 for the installing the farm gate. Okay, so that'll come out of conservation's funds.
Yep.
Okay. Kimville Construction for $2,190 and $6,260.
Okay, got it.
We engage for mailing certified letters, $9.68. Brian Robichaud for picking up batteries for, that's right,
the defib.
yeah, $448. Yes, $448. Rick Surratt for a planning board chair, April to June, $300, and July through September, $300, so $600.
Looks like a postage for Rick as well.
Yep, Rick Surratt postage, $106.48. Royal Turf and Tip, monthly bill for $250. That's it.
Okay. The total for this manifest, $21,493.50.
Is that plus the
Motion that we-
is that plus the payroll, or is that just?
That is, does not include the payroll, just the taxes on the payroll, is that correct?
Right.
I make a motion that we accept the manifest as presented.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the two sign the file.
We have to sign that and a contract. All right. The checks are here, we have to sign the checks also?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. And we have to look at the newsletter a little later. So we're gonna do some budget. You ready for budget?
Yep, I am. So I think where we, under the selectmen, we still have that IT, we have public notices to put on.
Can we?
Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, we got some visitors that might have some comments on their budgets.
Okay.
Like the moderator. Do you have a budget for the moderator? Not yet.
Not yet.
I can tell, not yet.
Yes.
Not
I
yet.
can tell,
Yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah, I'm working on it, okay, yes.
And the road agent, we have a discussion, right? How you gonna do this?
I don't, unless there's some opposition to it, I wouldn't change anything at the moment.
Let's go to, page,
What page is it?
it's on page
Four.
4. Do you want to look at it, Chris? Do you want me to make?
So,
No.
some additional things to consider, right? We got, and maybe it's not the road agent's budget, maybe it's the selectmen's budget. We've got a building down there that needs some maintenance. The salt shed, it's been 10 years, it's time to restain it, do something, everything's peeling. I understand some of the panels on the roof are leaking, some of the plastic panels, not the metal. So I don't know whether that's, I guess that's a town building, so I guess that's not road agent, that's the town building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right.
government building.
We'll have to talk about that under town buildings.
Yeah.
So under the road agent, we have summer,
150
150
that we budgeted,
for work,
yeah.
60 for materials, 150 for paving. And then
We are also putting 150 into the trust fund, you know, for,
this year,
yes.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to that yet for
No.
25.
So the asphalt maintenance budget for 2024 was 150,000. Do we want to leave that?
that's the question. That's exactly the question.
That, what I would say is, I think that's hopefully would remain at some sort of funding level just to keep up with basic maintenance. And that's not to include bigger projects, but just, you know, just to resurface some things, and possibly one of the things next year is reclaiming part of Moose Mountain Road. And I have a budgetary number of about 75,000 just for that one piece of road. It's a relatively short piece, but it's not really in a condition where it can be resurfaced. And there's, you know, we've done a lot of paving in the past couple of years, but I don't know if we've reached the halfway mark. And by the time we get to the end of 4 or 5 years here, we're probably back to square one. Whether it be paving or chip sealing or taking some of the worst sections of these roads and reclaiming them and fixing some of the base material. So I think that number is good for now, but you know, to kind of get caught up on what hasn't been done.
So what jumps out at me is the road agent charges for summer. We budgeted 150 and we're at 70. And we got 2 months to go for summer.
Yeah.
So maybe 150 is high for that.
It would have been for this year for a variety of reasons, but moving forward, don't forget we had some money that was held over from last year for culverts and drainage and stuff like that. So that's why that number is a little off.
Because we used that money that we
got from the state.
Deferred,
the
we
state.
deferred it,
Yeah.
so we used some of that.
We,
But it should be as an expenditure, wouldn't it be?
It would be the expenditure.
Wouldn't it be in the 67? We spent it, didn't we?
Yeah.
When we do the budget,
Yeah,
you know, that's a big disconnect. We budget 150, we spend 70. And we got 2 months left on summer maintenance. Winter maintenance, it's a crapshoot. Right? Winter maintenance, no one's gonna argue because you can't tell it's gonna snow. I would just, the road was, the paving was 150, we went 154 fine. Materials was 60, we went 11. So,
yeah, we'd have to revisit that because just in the past month or two, it had to be more than that just in gravel. Never mind culverts and some other things that we got.
on
So,
materials.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with what he's saying. It does seem suspiciously low to me,
it
and
does.
I don't know why that would be, but I was gonna question that if you haven't.
I got
Just sitting here and reading through the material costs, the amount of sand or whatever that we picked up, gravel that we picked up, just my recollection over the course of the year, it's gotta be a lot more than that. Maybe you got into specific line items somewhere else, I'm not really sure. And maybe my recollection is incorrect too.
Yeah.
It seems like we should have
Oh,
spent.
because we transferred, that's right, so when we defer it, we take it out of the expense and reduce that deferred revenue. So it would be $9,000 higher, but we used we transferred $9,000 to deferred revenue. That's right, so we use it off of the general ledger instead of,
So
we
that
record
9,000
the expense, but then it reduces it by 9,000.
So that 9,000 is in here somewhere else on the.
No, it just would be $9,000 more if we didn't use that deferred revenue line.
That would make more sense to me.
Yeah. So really, it would be,
20,000, so.
yeah,
20 to 60 still.
But that's still a large disconnect.
20,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if we need the money, I mean, then we should talk about putting it in the budget, but if we're not sure, maybe we want to reduce that a little bit. And I'm not talking paving, I'm talking,
Yeah,
the 150, we spent 70.
Mhm.
We could go to 125, I would think safely, without really,
Yeah, and I think that's reasonable, and I would suggest we go from 60 to 50 on materials.
any comment on the material? You think
just that, one of the things we didn't spend the money on this year, which we probably should have, was the liquid that we put down on the dirt roads. That's one of the things we sort of deferred, and that's
Yeah.
close to $10,000.
So we're gonna spend that much more this year that you're talking about, right? I remember you bringing that up a month ago.
I think we could do it now. You know, I mean, we decided not to do it earlier in the year, but where the money is there now, we could get it, it doesn't go bad, it sits up there, and that's something that we could order and have delivered before the end of the year, so that it's there in the spring when we need it.
And you're gonna get more than a year out of what you're buying, right?
That I don't know. I would hope so, but it really depends on the weather.
Right.
If it's extremely hot and dry summer, and, you know, you grade the road and you put the stuff down, as opposed to the one we had last year where it rained constantly and dust wasn't even an issue.
And that would be for Lyford Road only?
Be for Lyford, Tumble Down Dick Road, and probably part of Tibbetts Hill. Sanborn Road is,
Okay, there's plenty, yep, more than Lyford. So why don't we buy it this year?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
it is also, you can mix it in with the salt too, to create a better melting product. I haven't done that, but that's the other use for it too, so it's a multi-use thing, depending on what you need it for.
So I think we should buy it this year, we got the room now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then the
Which-
recommendation was to go to 50,000, but we're even with another 10, we're not even getting close to it.
well, I was gonna say, if we spend it now, it's gonna come out of the 24 budget.
Right.
Which means that's 10,000 we don't have to have in the 25 budget.
Yeah.
Because you should be able to get through all of 25, hopefully, that would be the plan.
Okay.
So
What about Tumbledown Deck, the bridge?
Right at the moment, the Stratford Regional Planning Commission has put it on their list of things to fund the engineering for.
Oh, excellent.
So it's not a guarantee it'll happen, but it's on a list with some other projects that they have money left over this year for engineering on. So,
That won't impact, even if they do the engineering next year or this year, we're not gonna spend the money next year, because we don't know how much it's gonna cost.
right,
Okay, so that's good news.
both the Moose Mountain, Hanson Brook Bridge,
Yes,
and the culvert on Tumbledown, they've taken on both of those as potential
excellent.
projects to do the engineering. And the way I explained it was, really on the bridge, what we need is some amount of engineering to get it to a bid process. And they were happy to take that on, or at least put it on their list to discuss it. There aren't many things on the list, so I think there's a reasonably good chance that they'll come through on that, but.
That's great.
On both of them? Maybe, excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's not bad.
That's progress, huh?
I would say 125, 40, and then the 150 for the paving.
So you want to go 125 for the road agent charges, 50 instead of 60?
No, 40.
He
Or
wants to go to
125?
He wants to go to 40.
125, 40, and then
What's the
150.
top number?
125.
125.
Yeah, and then 50 on materials.
No, 40.
40. He
on
wants to go
40
to
on
40.
materials?
And leave the paving alone?
Yeah,
150.
exactly. And the winters,
The winter's,
Yeah.
who knows?
exactly.
Who knows? The winter's 120, and so far we spent 80 out of 120. So we got 120 and 80, and we got 2 months to go. And materials, 40, and we spent 16. That's a lot of salt and sand that come in.
We still have, because we'll be using that November, December, right? So
Yeah.
probably
Well,
should
let me
leave
ask,
it.
are we expecting more revenue from the state this year?
Yeah, but it won't show here.
No, I understand, but.
Oh, we haven't even gotten our,
Harry Breeze.
yeah, the money they give us for the, I can't
The
think of the
road,
word.
the road,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, the moose plate thing?
No,
No?
shoot.
We didn't get our money from the
Block
state
grant
yet.
money,
Yeah.
block grant money, no.
So that in itself is gonna give us some margins that we're gonna have the ability to use. You know, what.
The
That
revenue
just
just
goes- That's
offsets.
just general fund.
Yeah, it just offsets our
It's-
expenses,
It's
our
not
revenue.
specific. It's
Yeah.
not specific to an account, it's just income.
Yeah, it's income.
Offset the tax rate, that's all it does. Because it's road and whatever, doesn't mean it's just road, it's,
No, I understand that. but-
Unfortunately, we don't usually get it till the very end of the year,
Yeah.
and then that's why we deferred it, because we can do that
Well, and
again.
that's where we're going. We got some last year, we deferred it, and then we used it
Then we used it.
to put in culverts and some other
Because
stuff.
when you defer the revenue, it goes in, it's a liability, so it goes on the balance sheet as a liability. Then when you spend it, you transfer it, satisfy the liability and credit the expense.
And I'm of the mindset that we could end up in that same situation for 2025. So if
But we don't know how much we're gonna get.
We don't know. So I guess my point is that by cutting that 60 to either 50 or 40, it's not as risky as it may sound because of the potential for some revenue that we don't expect. That can offset that.
Because the state is very specific about
you
that
can't,
money.
yeah, we can't overspend the budget.
No, but when you defer it, it goes on the balance sheet. Doesn't show any of this. It goes on the balance sheet as a liability.
And then when you spend that, you transfer it out of the liability and you credit the expense.
But it doesn't have to be for roads, or it could be for anything.
No, well, it depends. Like last year, the state was specific about using it on roads or bridges, or we used it on the culverts because we
Right.
called,
Right.
remember, we called the state. And they said, yeah, go ahead and use it on the culverts, but,
Okay, so we'll see, but
right. We don't know what I mean,
no.
Yeah, and I had really,
they had extra last year, the state did.
yeah, I had forgotten about that, when I said 50, going 60 to 50. But with that in mind, if we go from 60 to 40, maybe we will still be okay. Depends on what we get, it's a crapshoot, right? We're taking a chance, we're gonna roll the dice and say, if we get money from the state, we'll be okay. If we don't get any money from the state, then what are we doing?
And what I'm wrestling with is, what are we spending on? What's the project?
There are projects out there that we can spend it on. It's gonna be, what was the road that you mentioned that needs to be reworked?
Oh, yeah, Moose Mountain Road, as part of the pavement, asphalt maintenance, that's where I intended on that going, would be a contract with a paving company to reclaim it, add some gravel, and repave it with a binder layer. And that's, like I said, that's 75,000.
And that's out of that's out of the asphalt paving.
Yeah.
All right, so what your proposal is 125 and 40?
Yeah.
And 150 for the asphalt.
Yeah,
The asphalt
leave the asphalt
Leave
alone.
asphalt alone.
So then 120 for the snow, for the
Don't
winter.
even touch the
Doing
winter.
25 on the road
Yeah.
agent.
You probably should leave it at 40 for this. What if it's a bad winter and you,
Well, this only goes to December.
Yeah,
Only
true.
got 2 months.
That's true.
But it's still a crapshoot. You can't tell what next January is gonna look like, so
Right, right.
you leave it in there.
leave it at 40?
Yeah.
I think we should.
I would leave, it's 40 for materials
Yeah.
and 120 for plowing.
Yeah.
I'm good with those numbers.
And do we want to put anything in the Moose Mountain Bridge maintenance? That
A
line,
buck.
it was new last year, no. We have $1 in there,
Well,
just.
we might have some engineering studies,
That's
which
true.
is good.
Mhm.
Then we'll know how much.
Okay, okay.
Good.
Good.
Anything else with the road agent on that? Other than we talked about the shed down
Mhm.
yonder. We need some maintenance.
Yep.
That's buildings.
That'd be under the town buildings.
Okay, I think we've done with that one. That was
You want to go back to, is it the selectmen's budget?
Sure.
Okay. So, the,
what page do you want?
first one. So you have, we have to fill in the municipal dues, NHMA municipal dues, which I haven't gotten a figure from them. If you,
I'll put that on my list of
Yeah.
things to ask.
okay. And then
2025 dues, right?
public notices, we had $800, we haven't spent any of it, because we use the internet, we use the website. And,
I'd make it 500.
okay.
Start taking it down, I don't know.
At 400.
400?
Yeah.
400.
400.
And then IT computer services, I'm really kind of lost on that one, because that includes John, but it also, I thought we wanted to put all of our IT stuff in one, like
Civic Plus.
Civic Plus and, what else did we-
That
oh,
doesn't
the
include
Gov
Avatar,
Connection.
right?
The Gov Connection.
Right.
The Gov Connection's been like 200 and something a
So
month.
how much should we put in there? How
I don't
much
know, let's see.
we budgeted 22, we only spent 12.
Yeah, but I don't know, let me look at that one. 30.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
John's coming next Friday. I'm not sure I'll see him, but we should ask him how we're doing and what he
Yeah.
sees.
I mean, we paid him $6,500 up front for this year.
And that's part of that already.
Yeah,
So how much do we consume, right? We need an update on where we are in our consumption.
okay. Yeah,
He watches the meeting, so if you just ask him, he'll listen to it.
We will ask him. And we know that he's going to charge us an extra $1,200 for the backups. He told us that last week, right? We're going to do
Is that an annual or was that?
annual $1,200. $100, didn't you say $100 a machine per year?
125 per machine per year.
Per year.
I think it came out to like 875,
Okay.
give or
We
take.
know that the Gov Connection's been about $236, so $240 a month. And then the Civic Plus. I guess we should make a list of what we're
Yeah.
spending out of that, and then see if, will there be any extra charges with turning it over to .gov?
I think you have all the extra charges we're gonna get
Okay.
for that, at least from Civic Plus.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
the Gov Connect, that's emails?
emails, yeah, and yeah, emails and wherever people use Microsoft tools.
You also asked months ago about getting a price for telephones, telephone system or telephone
Yeah, the
service?
spread wasn't significant.
Okay, so you did look into that already?
The spread was $20 a month.
Oh,
Cheaper, $20 a month cheaper to go to Spectrum.
okay. Just didn't want you to forget.
No, wasn't significant. And the issue there is when the power goes out, our copper still works. If the power goes out, our telephones stop working with Spectrum. So for $20 a month, we keep the copper.
If you invested in Starlink, you could keep your system going even in the emergencies.
I was just gonna ask you that, because it's around $2,500, right?
2,500
Yeah.
500.
to get the antenna and get the service now.
Is it like 500? I thought.
I thought now it was less than that.
Really?
But that's for phone service?
Well, you have voice over IP. I mean, I'm just speaking to staying connected to the outside world when the spectrum goes down. That's all.
Okay. So yeah, we looked at what the spread's not significant.
Okay,
All
so
right.
we need figures to finish that. So trustee to trust funds, they gave me $450 to put under salary, and dues and workshops, I went with 100. We spent 140, because I think Megan, they went to a workshop.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Town clerk has given us hers, although Karen and I have talked a little bit about. I thought Rich was going to say something.
Are they elected? Are the trustees of trust funds elected? I don't remember.
I can't remember either.
Yeah, it's an elected position.
They're elected.
So then the number is whatever the town voted on. Is not what they.
I don't think I haven't ever paid anybody from the
I
trustees.
know,
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
They don't take the money,
No.
but the number should be agreed to what the town voted on if they're
I don't
elected.
think it's a warrant article though, is it? Do you have the warrant articles, Jan?
Well, it's not every year, whenever we did it, it
That
doesn't
would have
change.
been 3 years ago, right? Coming up.
Who knows? We'll have to look, at warrant articles for trustees of trust fund. And the number doesn't change unless we vote it.
Right.
All right, so that's effectively,
All right, so Karen and I have talked about, she may want to break her lines out a little bit to be a little more specific, so we might make some adjustments there, yeah. Just to make it a little more, because we lumped so much of her stuff into expenses, you know, so we might break it down a little more. Is that okay? So we may revisit that.
well, I'm looking to see what's going up.
She increased her deputy because she's not going to get anyone for $3,000 a year.
To give them more hours.
More hours.
Partly to get somebody on board, but just to have training and enough hours for them to get comfortable. And a lot of that's training hours too, but with the hope that they could take on a couple of the evening hours.
That's fine, it's good to have a backup.
I know, sir.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Supervisor, the checklist, there's only one election, or is there two next year?
Well, Rose gave me this, so
Must be two.
must be only 2 elections next year.
It's the town meetings,
Is Is there one in September? Any primaries in September? No, just
I
one?
don't think so,
Okay.
just the town meeting, I think, right? Yeah, there's not. Yeah.
Okay. That one's done.
So then go down to elections, Jan's gonna work on that one, right, the moderator one?
Yes.
Okay. So, moving right along. The next one is mine. I did increase my, my dues and workshop because last year, as you know, they moved them. I mean, it was way up in Whitefield, so you can't travel there and back in the same day. So, and the auditors gave me their figure, software gave me their figure.
So the expenses is the conference,
Yeah,
the audit is fixed.
yeah. Software is fixed for the support.
Do you have enough in workshop?
I think so. It's kind of hard to know, but yeah, I think so.
Well, you only spent 70 on workshops, then you went to 1,000.
I think because the rest of it came, is in the expense line, the 4705 up above. That's where the conference, that overnight accommodations. So I could break it out a little more, like Karen and I talked about doing with hers, make it a little more specific.
I don't think that's necessary.
You
Just
don't?
we can argue it or discuss it if it comes up.
Okay.
All right.
Tax.
You guys with that? All right with that?
Yeah.
Tax collector?
I think Rose's justification in going up on the deputy is because if the current deputy doesn't want, she needs more, she's an experienced deputy, but if we had to get someone to train, same as Karen's, you need more hours.
Yep. Okay. So then we go down to assessing,
Yeah,
and I have some data for assessing. Which one of these is assessing? That's this one. We put some in here already, right? So, assessor clerk,
we need to increase that a little bit, I think.
I would make it 45, but then if we talk about salary increases, you have to make an adjustment
Right,
anyway. But
right.
I would make it 45. Deputy's fine. Salary, gravel, timber, leave that alone. We're getting close. Expenses. I wonder what the expenses, I don't know what the expenses are there.
I'd have to look. Postage, maybe? Some of it.
I don't know, we don't know what the expenses are.
I'll
I don't
check,
know.
I will check.
And the 7250 for Avatar building permit comes out of code enforcement.
Right, so I'll move that to code enforcement.
Yep.
I think I might have put it in there, I might have done it twice. I did put that in twice, so we'll take that out, take that whole line out.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, I put it in twice.
Yeah, and I think,
What is the software? Would that be Avatar for
Yep.
them? So leave that at 1,800?
yep, that's their assessing software.
Yeah,
And I think the Rod Wood contract is, a better number is 9,000 now,
okay.
because we're not going to do a townwide.
And mileage, leave it at 100.
Sure.
Dues and workshop, I'll leave it 2. And so the TAC map maintenance,
That's right. That's the G.
spent 4,500. Is that the GIS?
Yes.
It was more than,
Where did you get the 4,500 from? Do you think, I thought it was, I thought it was 3. I can't remember at all.
I can't either. Yeah, 4,500. It was something that we paid that was 3,000.
That was GIS maintenance.
Okay. So would that come out of a different line?
Nope.
Okay.
Do we expect to see that again in 25?
Yes.
So we should
And then
be,
there's the quarterly ones that we pay to,
That's 600 a year, right? Or is it more than that?
but I just read it tonight.
250 times 5,
Yeah.
1,000.
Yeah,
So that number should be close to 4,000,
yeah.
tax back maintenance, right?
You want to leave it at,
45, we can explain why.
yeah. Okay, that's that then. Your legal expenses,
We didn't get a bill from Ron Wood yet for the assessment? Yes, we did.
yeah, we did, it comes out of the
You can kick out the-
different line, yeah, it was towards the end.
Well, there was a warrant article.
Right. It was a warrant article for,
32,000.
it's over here under property reevaluation,
Yeah.
under the capital outlay.
Yeah.
It's on the back page.
Capital outlay.
so what we're talking here are just the pickups. So
Yeah.
they're just doing that.
Yeah, I don't know, I don't understand why we put, it's not a capital outlay, right?
Well, it was a warrant article and,
Yeah, just to move money out of a trust fund.
well,
Okay.
I can move it.
I think it belongs here. I think it was part of assessing. So you'll be able to sum that number, so we stand, now we're going with legal expenses, we went to 20,000, is that enough? We danced with that last time. Oh. All right, 20,000?
Yeah, I think so.
I want to go back to the first page. Where we got nipped this year is contingency.
Yeah.
Remember contingency?
That's-
We blew right by that.
Yeah.
We got a generator and all the training for the supervisors is a checklist. They got all kinds of, they went way over their budget on the supervisor.
I didn't take it out of that line, because it should come out of where it belongs.
Well, it did, but they're well
Yeah, they are.
overspent.
Yeah.
So is contingency at 5 enough? It's been 5 for decades, but
It is.
it's always been enough, but this year we got nipped.
Well, we take it on the chin, maybe learn a lesson, but I think we should leave it at 5.
Well, we went up to 75, didn't we?
Yeah.
Last meeting, you wanted to go to 7,500.
Just the
I
5,000.
think we should keep it at
You want to
5.
cut it at 5?
Mr. Chairman, how did a department go over their budget and expend money without authorization? Shouldn't that have been caught before the money was
Yeah,
expended?
they talked about it. They came to a meeting, said we're way overspending. You have to spend it for training. Secretary of State requires some training.
Okay, but when they did that, you authorized them to pull the money from somewhere else, you did a transfer? I mean, I don't remember.
We did not transfer it because we didn't transfer the money. It's,
You want to show the expense where it belongs, so that
they,
That was in July or
we
August.
can, as long as we don't overspend our bottom line.
Don't you have to do a line item transfer?
I don't like
To transfer the money from one place to
yeah, we
another?
didn't. We didn't. We acknowledged they were going to overspend it. We took it out of contingency.
Okay. I don't think that's appropriate, that's just my opinion, like the auditor's opinion too. Okay, thank you.
What page are we on? 3?
We're on
Into 2, right?
4.
Wow.
No, right, yeah, you're right. Yeah, we haven't done anything for the building.
Planning board. Oh, that's going to be.
So what page?
Planning board's on page 3, top of page 3.
The issue there is, if they're ever successful in getting a professional planner, you're talking $50,000, $60,000, $70,000.
And if we were gonna do something like that, for that kind of money, it's not gonna be just the planning board, it's gonna be someone who knows something about it, can help everybody in this town, not just the planning.
Well, you're talking about a town administrator or a town.
I'm talking about a land use expert.
Okay, so we could cover conservation as well, that's considered, and zoning, right, that's considered.
Zoning. The planning board, the zoning could use some work. And we've been looking, and they're very expensive, and you're gonna try to get some business cards, but we can't find anybody.
What about Stratford Regional Planning? Do they have a list of planners?
They offer that for help,
For help.
help the planning boards. Because they work with all of the planning boards in their region. So there's help available there for all of that stuff.
What, do you know what kind of help that they offer, or just a
A
phone
lot.
call to somebody, or?
I think it depends on what you're looking for. If it's in terms of, hey, we're having this issue in our town, they can reach out to other towns, or they can use their staff to help come up with a solution for those problems.
Well, it's an unknown, so we'll delete that one, it's an unknown. We got a couple of ones you're gonna try to research. I know they're looking for some resources. I know they've talked to Stratford Regional, but we haven't had any traction yet. So,
I was gonna say, the next time you go to a meeting, do the same thing. You get some business cards of people that work for
well,
other
they were
towns.
supposed to come to the planning board. I don't think that, it didn't happen. We'll follow through on that. That was, planning board rep was gonna do that. All right, so that's gonna be a potential, maybe a potential warrant article.
Yeah.
See if the town wants to do that.
I don't think a warrant article. So you want to leave planning and zoning alone for right now?
Yeah.
And we'll go down to government buildings?
Yeah.
Well, we can look at ZBA, and I would suggest that we don't do anything different with ZBA. Legal expenses for ZBA were different.
That's
Different line
down.
items, so they get their own, get a line item for legal
Yeah.
expenses
Yeah.
on ZBA.
Yeah.
So this is really just gonna be covering, I'll say normal, training, expenses, dues.
Well, same question, public notices.
Yeah.
Do you need all of that?
Well, there should be some money, we did send out public notices, I don't know why it didn't show up there. When we did the solar panel on
Yeah,
Governors Road.
Yeah.
yeah, the expenses, I probably took it out of planning board instead of ZBA. For the postage, you mean?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I'll check it.
That didn't come out of planning board.
Good.
It's about $10 a mil. $10, and that 116 from the planning board is for the last hearing we just had. So I don't know where the money came from the ZBA.
Would it be the 5238?
It should be not, it should be more
Could
than
be.
that, yeah.
5 abutters, if it's 5 abutters, it's a reasonable number. All right,
I'll check.
so you're gonna leave it alone? All right, we're going to,
General government building.
so the big one is the third one down, right? Repair the buildings and grounds.
So
With
the
this-
Sean said.
I was just gonna say, is this where the salt shed
Yeah.
should come in?
I think so. I think, well, there's 3 things I see. We talked 2 already. The other thing is when you load it up with material, you gotta be careful. It bulges. And if you look at all the state sheds, they got supports halfway up, tied into the ground.
Tie wells? Oh, yeah.
Tied into
Yeah,
the,
we'll start.
we don't have that, so you gotta be careful when you load it. Chris is well aware of that. So
What's the most pressing need? Do you think it's the painting or the bulging of the walls, or
Paint and the plastic roof panels need to be replaced.
Yeah.
you think that's the priority?
Yeah, the bulging, that's, what's done is done, you're not gonna correct that, and as long as it doesn't get overly loaded again, it won't be an issue.
when you drive it by, after we get a load of material, you can see what, you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful. It's got a little pot belly to it.
Well, how do we come up with a number then for the repairs on the?
How much did spray paint? 15?
she pressure washed it last time, and then she sealed it. And it was probably maybe like $4,000, right? So I'm gonna say like $5,000, and then the roof probably like $75,000.
Well, the roof is just a couple of panels they want to introduce. I think the painting's gonna be a lot more. Yes.
It's just stained.
It's dead.
What about someone installing the roof panels? Was there,
Oh yeah, that's, you know. So like $10,000.
I would put 10,000, I think 10,000 is closer than 5.
Oh, yeah.
For both or just the roof?
Just the painting.
Just the paint?
No, the painting and the roof.
Oh, I'd be surprised.
Oh, I don't-
All right, put in 10, put in 10 for both, we'll see where
for
it comes out.
repairs to salt shed?
That's salt
That
shed
would be-
maintenance. We're gonna stain it, whatever, to seal it,
Yeah.
and I think there's a couple, 3, 4 panels
And you want 10,000?
total. That's the salt shed, and then what about down here?
And then what, yeah.
So is that the only thing that we're gonna have for building maintenance?
We were gonna go do, like shelving on the shed.
Oh, right.
You're talking the garage?
No, yeah.
Okay, and we get the issue with the roll-up door. I mean, we did get a proposal last year.
Oh, yeah.
$21,000, so we didn't move on that.
That's right.
So, do we think we need to do that now in 2025?
What kind of shelves? I mean, you talking like some metal shelves? You're
Yeah.
talking about-
Yeah, that would be like
So-
basically pallet racks.
Yeah, like the Home Depot.
Right.
Like, kind of restaurants, you know.
Yeah, those are what, a couple $100 a piece for,
Probably, yeah.
Maybe
Probably,
job lot.
it's probably like $500 a rack.
And how many do you need?
I would say like probably like 4 racks.
Like, at least across the back.
Yeah.
So you don't, I want to ask, why? What are we gonna put in them? Just stuff?
Yep.
We got stuff laying on the floor.
We got stuff on the floor we're gonna put in them. Gonna use them?
There's road signs and stuff that shouldn't really be on the floor. I know Brad still has a bunch of stuff in there that should be put on a shelf.
Okay.
And having the building doesn't make much sense unless you have a way of using it.
Okay, so the one bid we got on the front door was about 20,000, right? So now we're talking maybe 25,000 for that building?
Is that still gonna be, it was over 20, it was 21 in change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 5, so we'll go to 26. That would cover
The shelves and
the
the
shelving
door.
and the bid. Of course, we gotta rebid it, obviously, but that gives us a ballpark number to work with.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm not following you guys. So how much for the
Be 26.
for shelving and,
And new doors. So that's on top of the salt shed.
right, so you want to call that,
It'd be 36, we just had 10 for the salt shed, so it'd be 36. That'll cover those.
so this would be, what do you call that building, the garage?
Garage. The
And
garage,
so you want to add shelving, you're going to put this in the budget for next year, or you're going to do the shelving this year?
Next year. Well, next year work.
All right, so you want to go to 25,000, is that what you said?
Yes.
Wow.
No,
26.
it was like 36.
combined between the two
Yeah.
buildings.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're right, Brian. It was 36.
36,000?
Salt shed 10,
Oh,
garage 25, 26 for them, so.
okay.
Who would do the roof panels? Because someone mentioned do it this year. We have money this year in building maintenance. Who would we get to put on those roof panels?
Me?
How many are there, 4 of them?
It's either 4 or 5.
Not many more than that.
I think it's literally just unscrew the plastic panel and put a metal sheet. Which the paint's not gonna match exactly because
Yeah.
but slide a new metal sheet in.
Because we got 7,000, we
Yeah.
only spent 1.
Yeah, yeah.
So we could take that this year if we could do it.
It could be done, it could be done.
Could we ask Chris to do it?
Yeah.
You're okay with that?
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll get it done this year, and that might adjust the other one down a little bit.
Okay. Be careful.
Yeah.
I got you.
Okay, good.
And make sure you have a fresh load of sand inside, just in case.
Stop it.
Telephone, internet keeps going up, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's because you have, well, we have Spectrum, right? And we have,
Consolidated.
Yeah.
And that's what we checked.
yeah.
Does it make sense to jump over it? It costs 20, we save $20. And we lose the copper. And I can talk about that later.
So like 3,000 or?
Yeah, I think you gotta go 3,000.
And then the one support.
That is the website software.
And what, is it Civic Plus that you use?
Yeah,
And I don't know what they're gonna charge us next year.
Right.
And
I don't know either.
So let's put a new number in there, now we're 25.
Yeah. 2,500.
Yeah.
Propane, we're doing what?
Programs, 7,000?
Yeah, and I think probably we're good with that.
Yeah.
Propane and electric is snow
Can we-
shovel.
can we-
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Is propane too much? Take 1,000 out of it? You don't know, right?
No.
Yeah, if it's gonna be cold, it's gonna be, so.
All right, leave it alone.
And if we get air conditioning, that electricity bill will go up, so. Kidding.
I hear you. See, I hear you. That I heard.
Kidding.
I meant to talk about that. So what else do we have on this list?
Snow shoveling and mowing.
I think we're good.
I don't know if we have all the bills yet, because you know, they don't bill us.
Yeah,
No, like,
They take forever.
Do you have somebody to do the plowing and shoveling here?
We should,
well,
we need to,
would you confirm that Steve is doing that again, please?
I think he's planning to, but I can ask.
I think he's planning on it. Please, when you get the light, that'd be good to confirm. I think he's taking customers again, for what I
so
understand.
the mowing is,
Yeah.
C&P.
Corey Pike,
Yeah,
Corey
Corey
Pike.
Pike, yeah. And he did bill us for the summer, so
all right, good.
you want to leave it at 5? You want to cut it to 4?
At 4, I think.
What did you cut the mowing?
Yeah, like the sounding of the mowing.
The cemeteries, they're working theirs up, they're still struggling with a couple of expenses there.
That monthly fee for the Royal Turf and Tick?
It's gonna be semi-annual from now on.
Okay, because I was gonna say, I was taking that out of care, because that's what Bertie said, care of town cemeteries.
Yes.
But then, so why is there 13,000 in the site work and,
Well, that's when they converted the field into a hayfield, or tried to make it a hayfield. So,
so they won't probably spend the rest of that?
well, it's interesting. Well, no, I'm not sure. The issue with the cemetery is how do you make it look acceptable, right? If it looks like a dump, you don't get a lot of activity.
Customers.
That's right. So you want to make it look acceptable, and that's what they're wrestling with. What you can afford to do to keep it acceptable. So, and they're sensitive to the cost, but they're selling plots.
Good.
Well, you don't see it come in anymore, do you?
No, we give it right to the trustee.
They're selling lots, so. And those fees go up. First of the year, they voted to increase those fees. So that's coming.
Okay.
What else, we're gonna turn the page?
We did Craig's down at the bottom, archival, that was Kristen
We're
gave
done
it.
with all the book work, right? This is the last one.
Yes, I believe so.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We just need the,
And that's the last page, we have to wait.
can we go back to, in your selectmen's budget, what about the town report? So we're gonna do, because remember we took, took it out of town meeting expenses, remember? And so
We took,
Kate, and Rose didn't bill, I don't think, but Kate's salary we took, and then the printing of the books.
we had that in election, and we moved it here.
Okay. Right.
Because it was, you had it under election, and it
Right.
really wasn't election, it was town meeting.
So.
So that's where I think you got the number now.
Yeah, 2,500, you think that's adequate?
Sure it's close.
Yeah, okay, all right. Just was thinking of that. Okay, Wakefield, we have to wait on, solid waste. We have the agency ones. I don't know if you want to talk about them,
No, we'll get some numbers.
because I've got the numbers of Tri-County Cat, Wakefield Food Pantry.
We'll do it next time.
Okay.
Next time, we'll start talking warrant articles.
Yeah.
You've done some work on those. So we'll start doing warrant articles, and we'll talk about some revenue. We're gonna meet on the 5th.
Okay, so on the 5th, if we have our approval from DRA, you're going to set the tax rate on the 5th?
Maybe, if we can get it.
Yeah.
We'll set it as soon as we can meet and do it. So we're gonna meet at 6 o'clock.
On the 5th?
You okay with this?
Good. What?
6 o'clock on election day.
Moderator budget for last year, or for 2024. Jim said no salaries,
Yeah.
neither of us do salaries, so I don't know what you had in for 2023 for 5 elections.
We had $1,500 for election officials and moderator, so
Okay. And
we've spent 266, just about everybody. I think it's only a couple that,
Right, and he said keep it the same, except that just know that next year's one election, it's a town election.
So we normally divide that number by 4.
What, 1,500 by 4?
That was counting on 4 elections.
Exactly, yeah, and we had 5 this year, but
and then we bought the
The booths.
booths, yeah.
right, so I don't think, we obviously don't need that much.
What is the number?
We had 1,500 budgeted and we spent 266.
Because we bought an extra election and some equipment.
No, the equipment that we bought was 3,602.
Yeah.
And that came out of what?
Expenses.
Expenses.
Even if we had a dollar budgeted, we spent 3,600.
So it was an overrun.
But I'm talking about the salaries for moderator and election officials. We had budgeted 1,500, we spent 266.
I would say,
Because most people waive,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
they're,
I would say like $300,
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's fair.
and then just a Buc-ee's.
I mean, except if we didn't have people who volunteer, you'd be paying somebody, but
Yeah.
it looks like,
Right.
Okay. So, all right, so we're gonna do warrant articles next time. We're gonna meet the 5th at 6 o'clock to do bills
yeah.
and any other important stuff. to do.
Well, I have to count ballots, so,
You're not counting at 6.
no, that's true. We open till 7?
7,
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, so just bills and just
Just bills.
checks.
yeah. And maybe set the tax rate if we're lucky.
And the potential addition, we got an updated sketch from Gary.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I ran up there, and we got that squared away. So when do we want to meet with the staff to go over the updated? You want to do that on a Friday morning? You want to do, what's good for you? You want to do it on a Saturday morning? What, I mean,
January?
Yes.
some night?
Night?
Want to do it at a selectmen's meeting? Think that's crazy?
And do like, December 4th,
When?
December 4th,
Bad day. It's available.
December 11th,
Still available.
Thursday the 5th.
Of what, December?
Yeah.
First 2 weeks in December are bad.
All right, man.
Pick another one.
January.
How about, you know, I mean, November path, everybody would be on
Oh,
the way to,
Yeah, we're still gonna have our 2 meetings in November, right? The 15th and the 19th.
Yeah.
oh, that, okay.
All right, let's do it at one of those meetings. So
So,
we'll just start at 5 o'clock.
okay, super.
So we'll pick one.
19th.
All right.
Yep, we're going
Right. All right.
So 19th, we will start at 5.
All right.
Okay.
We'll get a blurb out to the people. This is not the public, this is just all the employees. Then we'll do the public after we have the input from the employees. All right. Anything else for tonight? We have to sign some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We have enough, we're gonna do warrant articles next time, start those. I think we got everything covered. Any more input from anyone?
Yeah, I could give my 2 cents about something I heard before. The USDA doesn't have money to, I heard this in Tamworth too, they're getting less that they used to get from the USDA. But the government left the southern border open, got all these people in, they're getting all this funding, they're getting food, and they're getting all this care. But our own government doesn't have enough stuff to send the people that live here already. That was really disturbing to me, I just wanted to say that.
Should have been
People
on-
should really think about that
Should have-
before they vote.
Should have been on camera.
I
Anything
am
else?
on camera.
Yeah, that's
Turn it
all right.
around.
No, I'll reiterate it, that I agree with you, right? We're being challenged with USD government donations to food pantries for our own citizens. We see that all of this food and aid is going to illegal aliens coming across the border. You know, you gotta ask yourself the question, how does that work? Why is that okay?
Can we also add the fact that we've just sent another, 100 billion to other countries?
Or any other?
No, that was my 2 cents.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else? Meeting's adjourned. We'll sign some checks. Thank you, folks.